Hello again, folks. This is Scott out in Queensbury doing a review on a Roku television that I bought at Walmart 2.5 years ago. And I was just telling you the trick to fixing this thing and actually what happened and what I had to do to fix it. This particular is a 70-inch wall Roku television that I purchased at Walmart 2.5 years ago. And for some reason, one day after using it, because the picture's always been brilliant, the sound's always worked excellent, there was no problems with any of that. It was one day I went to go turn it on with the remote, and it kept getting a black screen. Now, I shut it off, turned it back on, unplugged it, tried a couple different procedures that I've seen on YouTube to try to get these things going. And sometimes I get it to turn on, it would stay running for like 3 days, just as long as I didn't hit the power off, and it would stay on. Then I could shut it right off, hit the power button again with the remote, and it would stop working. It just wouldn't come on. You could hear all the channels switching. You can hear the sound okay. You can hear it moving through the menus. You can hear all the noises just like you normally would, but it was a black screen. So no matter what I try, it's a black screen. But sometimes when I would hit the power off and back on, you get the flash saying Roku, and then it shut right off to a black screen. So that's what the problem I was having. Like I say, and there was a couple different things I seen on YouTube where people were playing around with hitting the remote, different patterns, whatever, to get it worked. And that actually did work for a couple days by hitting the buttons at different locations, almost like if you were typing in a code or something for your Xbox game or something for a cheat or something like that. And I tried that method, and it did work for a couple days, but then that actually stopped working. So what I ended up doing, this is a flat screen LED television bought at Walmart. It was like a $500 television, whatever, with the tax and everything. So what I ended up doing is replace the control board. The panel on the back here, if you look at the back of this television, it's very simple. You remove that lower panel, and there's probably like 15 screws, and there's actually only 3 boards back there other than the LEDs that light up the screen. That was the only thing is on these newer style televisions. So what I ended up doing is replacing that power supply board. And how do you know that's the power supply board and the one you have to replace? Because right where the power cord plugs into it right here, that's the power board. And the other one's a tuner, and the other one's, like I say, is the control board or whatever to accept all your VGA and all your inputs and stuff in it, okay? So that's the board we got to replace. So I'll show you what the board looks like and tell you what to purchase. Now, the only thing with this television was, for this particular model, and I'll tell you the model number, for some reason, Roku does what Samsung televisions, or what Samsung does. You can type in the model number and you'll get 10 different parts for the same model number. And that's what the deal was with this. Because I had ordered 2 different boards for this model number, and both boards were wrong. So finally, when I removed the back panel off the television, set it down on the floor on a blanket, to remove the back panel, I got the numbers off the board itself, and that's how I found the board on eBay. Okay? So here's the board. This is what the board looks like. And like I say, it's not very big, whatever. It's very simple to plug in, very easy to do. You got to repair this. You got one plug in here, and you got 2 little plug-ins right there to plug in the 2 wires. And those are the little caps that come off. Now, when I purchased this board, all the numbers were pretty much alike, all but one number. So what I actually had to do is I had to take my needle nose pliers, and I pulled these 2 little white pins off, okay? And I put the ones that came with the old board, and I put it on the new board to make this work. And it slid right on. There's only 3 holes. It doesn't matter which wire goes where, but that's what happens to put that on. And it just pops on. You got like 6 screws that hold it in place on the back of the panel. And the model number of mine was a ONN 112588. And the power supply number was a E45709KU, and that was the power supply itself. Now, the number that's the most important that you got to find on this board to know if you got the right board, because like I say, I had to order 2 boards. This was the 3rd one I got that was actually the right one. So basically, take your board out, snap a picture, and the ones that they display on eBay, get the same exact one. But I guess the main thing is wrong with these, even though a lot of times these boards look identical, is where the plugs go in. And that was the biggest thing, is right here, this plug, because the other 2 that I got until I ripped the television apart to see which one I actually had for that model turned out to be right here. So you got to make sure that was the right power cord for that. And the only thing I did after getting the 3rd board is I changed these little plastic clips right here, because somehow those wires wouldn't go into them, but they're all 3-prong on both settings, and that's what it was. I just pull it off, needle nose pliers, pop them back on, and it was a simple fix. So the actual model number is the top number. was the 112888. The power supply number itself was the E457019 RKU, and this was the most important number on the Roku TV, was the EO21M425J3. This is what the most important is. If that had that number, and you have this model number right here, this would be the board that you want to get. So that's what you have to have. And if you do a close-up right here, you'll see that number, 45J3, and that's the number that matched up that I made that this board actually worked. Okay, and I'm not sure what other companies make this particular board. I used to be in the television repair business back 25 years ago. So this takes care of your problem. So hopefully, if anyone out there was wondering if they could fix their television, it cost me $85 on eBay. I had to wait like 2 weeks before it was in stock. You can buy an open box board. And it was usually something that somebody had scrapped the television, and they give like a 90-day guarantee or a 30-day return policy, whatever, to return it if it didn't work out for you. But in my case, this is what happened to be to fix me. So this is Scott again out here in Queensbury. So hopefully you like my review. And if a simple fix to repair your $500 Roku television that shouldn't have went bad in the 2.5 year period that I had, it shouldn't have went bad, so I had to replace the board. It's up and running, works perfect exactly like it is, so I would recommend repairing your own. Subscribe to my channel. I might have some other updates later on in this process. I'm going to put the board back on and play it for the next couple of days, make sure everything's good to go. But have a nice day. So Scott again from Queensbury. Bye-bye.